Welcome back, vintage gamers, to a vintage preliminary event. I got a sweet new March of the Machine brew for you here, featuring a ape dinosaur turtle. This is Kogla and Yidaro. It is a 6-drop oath creature, which makes it a sweet spot for castable oath target. As in, you can cast this in your deck. You don't really want to, but you can, and you can oath into play for some good value. So what we have here is basically a rug control deck. I know it has Oath of Druids in it, but you should think of it less of an Oath deck and more of a control deck. So basically, this is rug control, and it looks very, very similar to other rug control decks that you see sometimes pop up in the format every so often. I know like Javier Dominguez sometimes likes to play a rug control deck, and this is a very similar outlook. But what this does is it plays two, quote-unquote castable, because you're playing a Ren and 6 Black Lotus deck. They're definitely castable. 6 drops in Inferno Titan and Kogla that you can sometimes oath into play if you're playing against a creature deck. So basically, these oaths are like, think of them as like a balance or a wrath or an anti-creature card. So we're playing no Forbidden Orchards. We're not playing a typical oath shell. We are playing more of a rug control shell that has an Oath of Druids in the deck. This is like a kind of deck building style that Brian Kelly likes to play a lot. And it's not one that I would say is particularly popular. We do have the full 4 Oath of Druids in the sideboard so that we can bring in Oath against extremely creature-based decks and put, an actual uncastable into play with Sarah's Emissary. Not actually uncastable because you technically have Black Lotus, but for the most part, you're not casting Sarah's Emissary. I do really like Kogla. I think this card is actually really strong. The fight effect is relevant. 7/7 haste is relevant. And the best thing I think about it is the 4-mana, Beseiju style effect, where you have discard, destroy an artifact or enchantment, shuffle it into your deck, and draw a card. Draw a card is actually a really, really nice tack on. So, yes, what we're doing tonight is a, Strip Mine, Ren and 6, Rug Control deck. We are playing Breach Brain Freeze. I think it's a pretty free A+B combo to add to the deck, and it actually synergizes quite well with Oath of Druids. I think that your control deck should have some kind of way to win the game via combo, and I think Breach fits the bill here. Sideboard is just, some Pyroblast because we're in red, Nature's Claims because we're in green, a bunch of Null Rods. This format, you should be playing some kind of Null Rod effect if your deck can afford to, and then obviously a bunch of Dredge Hate. Oath of Druid, Sarah's Emissary also counts as, bizarre Dredge Hate, so really, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 card, maybe even 10 cards, 11 cards with Nature's Claim sideboard for Bizarre. 2 sideboards for artifacts and 2 sideboards for blue spells. So you're basically pre-boarded against combo with 2 negations and a trap. So lots to think about here. Let's get right into it. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, let's do this. Round 1 of the vintage preliminary event with Kogla Control / Oath. Let's do this. I have an Oath. Should be pretty good against our opponent's range of decks. Also, Strip Mine should be good against our opponent's range of decks. So, though, actually, yeah, this should be good. All right, maybe the opponent actually isn't here yet either. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. We're into it. Let's see what opponent's got for us. Mulligan is 6.
Did you explain the deck already?
No, I'm going to explain the deck after. I don't want to lose too much time. The deck might take a while to win. Did I draw one of my 2 Oaths? Yeah, and my 1 Strip Mine. Perfect. Just how we drew it up. The Brian Kelly school of draw the cards that matter. I assume our opponent will end up being on Bazaar, as is their tendency, but maybe not. Maybe shops. We'll see. All right. Opponent has decided they're keeping their 6-card hand. We are playing a fetch land and passing the turn. Yeah, they've definitely tried a bunch of stuff. Oh, yeah, put it on. It won't get much colder, though. But you'll at least get the airflow. You should just be able to hit on, and it will already be on the setting. If you open the panel and then hit on. Yeah. Ah, it's a ruby. Okay. Yo, what's up, Chess Knight? Oh, all right. So hopefully this is mono white and not oops all spells. All right, mono white. Oath will be pretty good against mono white, but it will depend on how good their first turn play is. If it's Archon, things get a little challenging. See what this cavern names. If it's cleric, awesome. Please play an initiative creature. Awesome. You love to see it. That is good for us. This is definitely the maybe not the worst creature they can play on turn 1, but maybe might be the worst. Do I want to fetch beforehand? Sure. I mean, that's what I've been saying since the very beginning, right? Turn 1 a Nick creature is just not good enough. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. So, I mean, if my opponent follows up the cleric with a seasoned dungeoneer, it probably gets closer, right? Our Oath of Druids is going to trigger, and we're either going to get a Kogla or an Inferno Titan. So if they forge, the Inferno Titan actually not that great. But if we hit Kogla, then obviously the fight is quite good. I mean, if they play turn 2 Lauren, sure. I don't really have counterplay to that. I don't have my Forcible, so. They have Phyrexian Censor. Okay. So let's see if this is good enough. That actually makes my Inferno Titan a good hit, so that's kind of nice. I milled a bunch of cards and hit a Kogla. I lost my Breach and my Time Walk. Not my Regrowth, though. My Kogla does enter tapped because of the Censor, but we do get to fight this White Plume Adventure. I guess I get pretty wrecked by a Solitude, right? Right. I did not get wrecked by Solitude. So I think we just DAC their Chrome Mox. I don't know how much any of that matters. I think DAC the Chrome Mox is fine. Might even save us life in the long run here. I could DAC the Ruby for extra red, but I think taking them off of another white is better. I don't think DACing is worse than wasting here because I don't know. I don't think Ponder is like super good. And if I put DAC in play, if they have to attack DAC, then I save life. And if they don't attack DAC, then I get eluding on the next turn. So they're just going to go 8 to 5. Okay. I mean, I might die to like second trap as well at some point. I mean, if I DAC and take Thalia, it makes my strip mine on planes really strong as well. If they play a second creature, it means I get another Oath trigger, though I guess there is like some downside to I might mill out if I do that. Oh, they hit Seasoned Dungeoneer. All right, that's super bad for us because we can't kill it with Inferno Titan. I think we actually are going to lose this game. They also hit correctly on this here. So, oh, if they this is a wizard, so it got +1/+1, so now I can't kill it with Inferno Titan. That is unbelievably wild. I think we're actually losing this game off of double Oath Trigger, which is very surprising to me. Yeah, I mean, I think this is losing. Oh, I mean, I also milled over my entire deck too, so that's not great. I do still have regrowth, but I can't. Oh no, I don't have regrowth anymore. This thing makes my thing enter tapped as well. Wow. I can't even hit Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to lose this game for sure. Because even if I take the initiative, it's not good enough. And I actually am not drawing to anything anymore. That's kind of, that's really unfortunate. I just needed a single force in this game, I guess. So maybe I was supposed to DAC and plus and try to find a force. I didn't really think I was going to die, but they top decked a Seasoned Dungeoneer. Yeah, I think I have no outs. That's crazy. I needed exactly one more force. Wow. Okay. That's really, really sad. I'm not fine if this thing doesn't get... No, I'm actually fine if this hits a land. Because if this is a land, it's a 3/3. I go to 5 life. This kills that. Though, it does give them an Oath trigger, right? So they immediately hit Throne off it. So I probably still lose on that one. I think I think I might have been just incorrect. I should have either pondered. I think I should have pondered for a force. If I ponder for a force of will and hit, then I think I'm just like easily winning, right? So it's probably just my own misplay there. All right, so we're gonna bring in more Oath of Druids and oops. And we're gonna bring in Emissary. I don't think I need to take anything out. Like, I don't think the Kogla or the Inferno Titan were either of them were bad. I just kind of got tempoed out of the game, which was just unfortunate. Yeah, I really don't think it was bad. And not having a force was definitely not good, though. Yeah. I might just need more lightning bolts in this deck, like Sean said. It's possible. Whoa, why is that so loud? Jarvis got the extra loud announcement. He deserves it, so. Yeah, I think that was just a mistake of a misevaluation. Thanks, Jarvis. Yeah, that's true, but I don't know. I feel like in the vast majority, I think the vast majority of games there, both of those creatures should have been enough. Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm not trying. I mean, I haven't explained the deck because we're in round 1, but I'm not trying to like play a dedicated Oath deck and play uncastable creatures and cheat them into play. That's just not what we're trying to do here. So this is a Brain Freeze away, a Brain Freeze and a Fetch Land away from winning. I mean, I'm gonna try to keep this hand, I think. I mean, I agree, like a Atraxa is really good there. I really got Chancellored here on the draw. I guess I just throw my Emerald in. I really can't afford to play the Strip Mine this turn, so I think I just throw the Emerald in, and then we Black Lotus Brainstorm. Oh my god, I just hit. Black Lotus. Brainstorm. Put back Inferno Titan and Strip Mine. Fetch. Green. Preordain. I could just keep both. No, that's really bad against Wasteland. Let's just bottom both. Great. I think I'd rather just get this in play. It makes them really not want to play a creature. So they probably have like 1 or 2 Laurens, maybe. So there's the Wasteland. I don't actually have a follow-up land. So the board is a little bit stalled. I did draw a Kogla, which I guess is probably the worst thing I could hit off of Oath anyways. So maybe Inferno Titan's slightly worse. I don't know. Just looking for another fetch land, but I have plenty of things to do once I have another blue source. And they don't really have the ability to play anything out until they find an answer to Oath. So it's probably fine. Are they going to play Athalia? That would be interesting. I mean, if they play a Containment Priest, I just am pretty sad, but what am I going to do? I don't think the recent list have had Containment Priests. Wasteland. They're gonna wait it out, and we can't seem to hit one of our lands that casts our spells. I mean, we definitely would have lost this game if we didn't do the things we did, so that's good. Force of Will, Wasteland. The problem is, I guess I could keep both of these, and if they don't draw Lauren or Containment Priest, then I'll have a Force of Will for a Lauren or Containment Priest after I Wasteland their cavern. And I technically can cast a Time Walk if they don't Wasteland me. Which feels like a really slow plan, but... I also topped on my Preordain, so maybe they don't want to Wasteland me. That's like a possible thing that could happen. And they just pitched a hand size. I think I'm just supposed to Wasteland right away. I mean, if they have Containment Priest, they just get wrecked, so... But now, at least until they find another cavern, I have Force for Containment Priest or Lauren. I do have no way of... Well, I don't have no way. I have an Oko that can trigger this Oath if I need to, but... I guess it's very unlikely that I make 4 mana and I'm doing Kogla things, so. The thing is, like, I guess they don't, well, they probably know from Twitter, but I was like, they might not know that we have better Oath targets now. All right, we are just not drawing the required magic cards. I'm just gonna get rid of the mix. I think the second Oath is actually good in case they have Lauren as their only answer. And I mean, we will eventually win this game, I think, but maybe it will be challenging. We're just both discarding the hand size. So they didn't hit any more lands, so they have all creatures in their hand. And I also have just hit no lands. I play extremely high land count in this deck, too. I think I want to keep Breach because I'm just a brain freeze away from winning with it. I'm pretty sure I want to keep Oko as a way to trigger Oath and Ren as a way to, like, start grinding if once I get the mana for it. This is going to be like a 40 turn game. This is why I didn't want to do the deck intro in the beginning. Is it worth playing this strip mine out? Yeah, why not? We'll lose anyways. I don't think it's worth strip mining them though. I want to be able to hit a human cavern if they hit like a cavern and don't hit a Lurin or something. Also want to be able to play. All right, let's take a look at their hand. That's fun. They do have a cavern they're sandbagging. And we missed on a land drop again. Okay. Which of these is the worst? I think the force is the worst. Second force. Ancient Tomb, sure. Outstanding game of Magic here. I mean, I have more hits in my deck than they do. I mean, they're probably on like 1 or 2 hits, and I'm on all of my lands. uh... I'm gonna pitch second Oko, I guess. Like, even if I hit 1 fetch land, I can Time Walk and then Ancestral, or Time Walk and then hit land and then Ren. I mean, I feel like they're pretty close to just going... They could go Cavern on Angel, play a Chancellor. And I actually don't have my Kogla, which is funny. But I don't think that's right from them either, so... Come on, just give me a... Alright, I hit my fetch land. That's great. Alright, now we can play Magic. I'm going to get a Tropical, and then I'm going to Time Walk. I think it's worth Time Walking just to, like, start building a presence in this game. And then I hit Inferno Titan. I still think I'm supposed to Ancestral, even though... We all Ancestral on their turn, actually. Yeah, I'm going to Ancestral on their turn. I might actually... Well, it means I have both Sarah's Emissary. I'm really worried about drawing Sarah's Emissary. I think I might strip mine the Ancient Tomb, because I'm not sure if it's good for me if this Chancellor goes into play. I mean, I have a Sarah's Emissary, I name creature. It's probably fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think I'd rather hold the strip mine. I guess if I get Wastelanded here, it's pretty bad for me, but... What are they playing? This is gonna be like a Thalia or something? Or maybe it's nothing. The Mana Crypt is being deployed. So they're ready. They're doing something this turn. I don't have my second force anymore. They're gonna go in. They think that whatever they have in hand is gonna beat my hand. So, about to find out. I mean, if they have the Containment Priest, I get ruined. If they have the Cavern, it's very straightforward for them. I did use my Time Walk. Maybe I shouldn't have used my Time Walk. I mean, drawing a Sarah's Emissary here would be pretty bad for me, I think, but drawing a Lightning Bolt is definitely not bad for me, but I don't have a red source currently. Which is ridiculous because it's turn 17, but actually my only blue card is Oko. It's kind of crazy too. So is it good to counter this? I mean, I can't beat a Cavern plus something good anyways, right? So I might as well. I mean, I could beat like White Land Swords, I guess would be a problem. I don't know. I'm tapped out, so you do your thing. Like if they go Cavern Peacekeeper or Cavern White Plume here, is any of that bad for me? Looks like they're gonna go Peacekeeper. I mean, if they have a Lurin, they have a Lurin. Like, okay, they found the Lurin. Okay, so it was good for me to counter that Seasoned Dungeoneer for sure. I'm just gonna play a new Oath. Can I run an Oath? I don't think so. So now my opponent can play, if they hit a white source, they can play Chancellor. Or they can play White Plume into Peacekeeper. But we have a Sarah's Emissary, so think it's fine. As long as we stay above traps. I'll be really sad if I like lose my Sarah's Emissary to swords after not keeping the cards I needed, but there's still a white mana off of Chancellor here. I might mill over all of my volcanics with something to think about. I guess I'm close to breach killing as well. I can just lightning bolt the Thalia. So they're trying to make me draw the Sarah's Emissaries, okay? Oh, they drew a Containment Priest? What? That's unbelievable. That is disgusting. Okay. Well, I think I can still win with Breach on this turn, so it probably doesn't matter. Am I supposed to still trigger Oath? So the problem with triggering Oath is if I mill over both of my remaining volcanic islands. Do I have a deterministic win if I don't? So if I fetch and play a volcanic island, and I bolt Thalia, and then I play Lotus Petal, and I play Breach, and then I have Black Lotus, and a ton of cards. I'm just super worried that if I do this and mill over both volcanic islands. So I think the answer is no. I found all my lands, chat. I mean, I think this is my only answer now. Is game? I don't know if it's game. I haven't done that. I haven't done that far math. Lightning bolt on Thalia. It's probably game. I don't have that many cards left in my deck. Maybe I have enough to bolt them out of this game. I don't think I have enough to bolt them. I would have to cast how many bolts? 5 bolts? Maybe I just have enough to bolt them out of this game. How many cards are in my yard? 23. And I need one more Black Lotus. So 21 cards in my yard. One more Black Lotus is 18. So I can just bolt them out of this game, right? Sure looks like it. Because I'm going to go down to 19, and then I need to cast 5 lightning bolts. So, yeah. Wow. That's not exactly how I expected this game to end, but... breaching off pedal makes it not matter. Leading breach off of pedal makes it not matter. So I cast 1 mana Black Lotus. Three mana. Yeah, you're right. Thalia might just not matter. So maybe I can mill over cards. This doesn't show them Sarah's Emissary, though. No, I don't. I think we just combo through Thalia. I mean, we would probably eventually kill Thalia, but it probably doesn't matter. Weird game. Very weird game. The fact that we won that game with Rage Brain Freeze because our opponent ripped a Containment Priest off of their Lauren was something else. That was pretty wild. Spell Pierce looks horrible. On the draw, there's just like no point in playing a Spell Pierce. What's my next best card? Misstep? For swords, possibly? As a blue card, too? Maybe. For what? What are we claiming? Just to gain life? Kill their white source? Might be better than Misstep. Like, I feel like they're going to bring in swords, maybe? Oh, you want to hit the Chrome Box with them not imprinting? I think that's super silly. Or just hitting a Chrome Box after as their white source. I don't know. Is that good? Might be better than Misstep. Misstep is a blue card, and my blue count is not particularly high. It's fine. It's probably close. Oh, not this hand. I feel like this hand's too slow, but I feel like I'm not allowed to mulligan it either. Like, am I really allowed to mulligan this hand? I guess, like, it really loses to Chancellor. Well, I guess I get preordained. I don't feel like I'm allowed to mulligan this hand, but it also feels way too slow. I have a bunch of counter magic. I just don't know if that's actually going to be good enough. This is like the kind of hand where I feel like I'll get extremely punished for keeping. They kept a 7-card hand. If I play a Thalia on turn 1, I just lose the game on the spot, right? I feel like it makes it a mulligan. I feel like this is like the kind of like it's like the kind of hand where like you know those hands that lose to Shop's Sphere go? Like this is the kind of hand that loses to any play go. I guess like a Chancellor wrecks any of my force hands anyways on the draw. But if they have like Chancellor Thalia, it's super bad. I want to keep this hand, but I could be convinced this hand is bad. No, they kept 7. Yeah, we're dead. They have Mana Crypt. I needed to keep a hand with Force. I don't know. Oh, it's human though, so it makes it oh, Anointed Peacekeeper. Sure. I mean, I guess it names Oath. I mean, that was not the worst thing that could have happened. We can just claim this Mana Crypt, and we might actually be like, they might have to name claim actually. Like they want to name Oath, but they might have to name claim here. Claim might just be nuts here. It kind of depends on how their hand is. But like killing this Mana Crypt might just put them off of playing spells, or they might just have, you know, land Thalia. Both of those are possible. Now, this should be interesting. I mean, opponent has full information and we don't have full information, so they might make a gamble, you know? Keeper Mole, yeah. If they name claim, do we waste them? I don't think so. Because I don't think that prevents them from playing anything. Feels unlikely that prevents them from playing something. You're gonna watch the show?
Is there a third episode?
Yeah. But I mean, we have a million third episodes to watch tonight, so we can wait too. For like Wednesday or whatever. Oh, nice. What? What does that mean? That means they like have a containment priest or something. It must mean containment priest. I think I'm gonna Misty for a trop. Oh, does that matter? I guess it could matter if I get like Archon or something. I'm gonna claim this Mana Crypt. I think that's the best thing we can do here. Attack go? No, they're just attacking first. Okay. Chrome Thalia pass with Containment Priest? Or a second Thalia? Second Thalia. Maybe that's why they wanted to run in 6? Huh. I feel like we're super pressured, though. I'm taking 5. Like, I feel like I have to find... Like, I feel like I have to resolve an Oath and hope they have no Containment Priest, right? I feel like I have to resolve an Oath. I go to 11, and then I go to 6. Chrome Mox as their follow-up there was pretty brutal. But I still think the play we made was correct. Man, if they follow this up with anything, it's super dead. We're super dead if they follow this up with anything. And we're not gonna be able to force anything either. Do we even have any good draws? I feel like we have any good draws. I don't know what a good draw would be from here. Black Lotus is probably close. Maybe that lets us run in 6. And Oath. I sure hope they don't have a follow-up play. If they don't have a follow-up play, I think we'll be okay. If they have a Containment Priest, though, I mean, that's super dead. Oh, they have a follow-up play. Okay, so they have a Containment Priest. So now we just need to draw Brain Freeze. So I'm thinking we go play Black Lotus. Oh man, Ren and 6 is 5 mana. I mean, I think we do it, right? Black Lotus, Ren and 6, kill Thalia. They play a Containment Priest. They attack for 5. We're at 10. I mean, they have to have a Containment Priest, right? We can't. We can't preordain. All we can do is Ren. I mean, the way they played this game and the things they chose, like, it does lean to Thalia, obviously, but I think it also leans to Containment Priest. Oh, Ren costs to activate and costs to play? That's pretty doomed. That is super doomed. I mean, we can then, all we can do is Oath and pray they have no Containment Priest, right? I mean, they have to have a Containment Priest here. They have to have a Containment Priest here. We can just fetch and preordain. I mean, the Nature's Claim can't mess up their hand because they have perfect information. They're also not F6'd. Well, we can't preordain and Oath of Druids. My opponent has a Thalia in play. I guess we can because we can use our Lotus to play Oath. I mean, I'm not sure that gets us there, but I guess we can do that. All right. I think they have Containment Priest almost assuredly. Also, we could hit like Inferno Titan or Kogla and not Sarah's Emissary, which would be pretty bad. All right, they definitely have it. Yeah. I mean, this hand is really, really good. What a great 7-card hand from them. Mana Crypt, Cavern, Containment Priest, all humans, and a Chrome Box. And Archon? I mean, that's pretty it's pretty close to unbeatable there. I have to have a Force of Will for the Mana Crypt. This is the bottom line, and I just didn't have it. So, yeah, I can't even mill over my deck and try to find a spell because of Archon. If I actually beat this if they don't have Archon, right? I can mill over my deck with Oath and then go Breach, Lotus, Bolt, combo. I actually was winning here without Archon. That's crazy. So now I just need to hit natural bolts, and then I still don't have enough mana after. That's just gross. Their last card had to not be Archon. I mean, let's make that play and see what happens. It's just out of curiosity. Oh, Bolt was our second card below. So yeah, if they wow. That's crazy. We would have won this game if they did not have Archon. That's just wild. So sad. Okay, now we go to round 2. Put you guys back on the screen, and we're good to go. All right, we've got Frowning Table across the table, probably on Golos Shops. That's what they've been playing recently. So I'm going to keep this immaculate hand of multiple pieces of counter magic, Ancestral Recall, and lands. Oh, they're on Bazaar tonight. We've been fooled. All right, well, we have a Wasteland, so that's good. I actually, I didn't even notice that they powdered here. But my hand is, I mean, I'm keeping my hand in every circumstance ever. It has the Wasteland for Bazaar, it has the Ancestral for everything else, and it has forces and traps and everything. So I think this will be fine because we actually have a Wasteland and they have only a Dredge 3 plus an Amalgam and a Icarid. I think it's totally a winnable spot from the control deck side. Only because we have Wasteland. If we did not have a Wasteland in our hand, we would actually very likely lose the game. Actually, I should not F3 in case my opponent has Noxious Revival. All right, so they're going to Dredge 3, and if they miss, we're in good shape. They did not miss. In fact, they hit both a Dredger and a Narcomoeba. So it's really bad. It is what I would say incredibly bad. But this turns on my Oath of Druids if I draw them. The question will be, do we Ancestral here? I feel like the answer is no. I kind of am just going to Preordain. I'm going to overdraw with this Ancestral. Oh, wow. Okay. So that might be fast enough. That might be fast enough. We do need to hit a land, though. So I definitely wish I had Ancestral. That would have helped a lot. The good news is they don't get back Icarid this turn. They see what this Dredge does. This Dredge hit another Dredger, but nothing else this turn, so 4. Yeah, we could have upkeep Ancestral. That's totally fine, too. I didn't really have high hopes we would hit lots of castable things, but we did hit exactly the thing we were looking for. So, wow, we got Strip Mined. That is super unfortunate. So now I think we're in a super losing position. Yeah, we are ruined by that. For what it's worth, we would have drawn off of the Ancestral, Ruby, Oath, and Force of Will. So it wouldn't actually have changed this turn. Well, we don't know what our last card is. The last card does matter, but... All right, how about this Dredger? Does this Dredger miss? No, this Dredger hit again and hit a Narcomoeba. Yeah, I mean, my opponent has basically hit on every opportunity and had a Strip Mine. So... yeah, it's been bad. We are dead on board, so we need to hit Black Lotus, Ancestral into Time Walk, that kind of thing. Because right now they have 5 power in play and an Icarid, and they have exactly enough one creature to use the Icarid. We could, you know, fetch and kill a Narcomoeba, but that puts us to 7 anyways, so it doesn't actually help us. So we just need to hit on this Ancestral, and we need to hit exactly like Mox Time Walk. Maybe Lightning Bolt is a good hit. I probably should have fetched a green source, but I wanted to leave myself... I should have fetched a green source. Yeah, we did not hit. So... this game, I think we might have won if we cast Ancestral, right? Because we end up hitting Mox land and playing an Oath of Druids. So I lost this game by playing Preordain. Man, I'm so bad at Magic. It's crazy. I keep losing to, like, myself in just the most minor ways. That's so gross. Yeah, I guess that's true. My Oath hits are not win the game immediately, so... Kogla, fight... And, I mean, Sun Titan... I think they both are still winning, but yeah. Well, the upside was I didn't want to overdraw, and I just wanted to, like, craft a game plan, but I can just cast on their upkeep, and that eliminates that problem somewhat. I don't know. There wasn't really a great reason. There really shouldn't be any difference between a proxy-friendly and an MTGO format, so no. No, I mean, I don't think I had a compelling reason to play Preordain over Ancestral. Like the reason I did it was because of overdrawing, but that's not actually compelling, so it's my own fault. I'm gonna take out the Kogla and the Inferno Titan in this matchup. Unlike the last matchup where I can cast them and they matter, this matchup they don't. Sarah's Emissary is the only thing that matters. Mindbreak Trap is horrible. Spell Pierce is horrible. I don't really think that Breach Brain Free. Negation's horrible. Narset's horrible. Oko is horrible. Nature's Claim is actually just for hollow one draws that are really weird. That's like kind of it, but you actually do bring it in. So, do want Mental Misstep, Probe, Regrowth, DAC. Minx looks really bad. This game is entirely post-board. This game is entirely about Oath of Druids. Misstep you actually want for Noxious Revival. So yeah, I mean, if they do side in light white ley line, that is technically something that has happened before. It feels like this is definitely the case a lot of the time when you play Control X and Vintage, but it feels like one minor sequencing mistake loses you the game. And I do one minor sequencing mistake a lot. Because it feels like both of these matches have been winnable if I was just playing, you know, at a 95% level instead of a 90% level. That might be an exaggeration, but something like that, you know? This hand's not keepable. This hand's not keepable. Yeah, it's been, I don't know. I mean, this happens a lot when I play these control decks. Like, they have the power level you need to play in Vintage, but they're very hard to play. Very, very hard to play. Whereas Tinker, like, yeah, exactly. Tinker bails you out a lot. I think I am gonna bottom both of my Force of Wills. I don't think I'm gonna have the blue card count necessary to force in this game. And so I think that's the plan. We're just gonna island, ponder, try to hit my green source, wasteland there, bazaar. Oh boy. Man, what if they wasteland me? Guess it's still fine. Is this wait, is Soul Guide the one I want to protect from grief here? Yeah, I think it probably is actually. So they have one Dredger, one Icarid, one Amalgam. I want to hit the Stinkweed Imp with my Soul Guide Lantern if it resolves. I mean, I'm just kind of forced here to Soul Guide. I don't think I show them Wasteland. I think I start by Soul Guiding. Because they could think it's, like, playable through. It's, like, a little rough, but... I guess we have Recoup with Ancestral next turn. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure it matters at all if the way this sequence is. Like, I don't know if I hold Wasteland or leave Wasteland or lead Wasteland, which of them influences the Force of Will in a direction that it favors me. I'm not really sure how the Psyche would work on that one. I think they would be more likely if I don't know. I mean, I have to Wasteland no matter what, so See if they have a Noxious. No Noxious. So are you going to Icarid? Probably not. They're going to Dredge off their Imp. Their Imp hit Golgari Grave Troll. Good lord. And Strip Mine! I've just been getting blown the fuck out. It's just the worst possible things that could ever happen. I'm dead. I'm just dead. I have Ancestral, but they have the Strip Mine. So now they Icarid off of this Thug and Dredge their Golgari Grave Troll, bring back 2 prized amalgams, and I'm lost. I mean, I might have... I can draw a Tabernacle, but... Yeah, I mean, it's been bad. This was... Well, they missed on the Grave Troll. They missed on the Grave Troll. They missed. They finally missed. So they just have 6 power, and that's it. But I'm at 14... So they did miss there, though. That gives me some turns. I really need to hit a land. I mean, obviously, best one is Black Lotus. Sapphire is great. Sapphire is wonderful. I have to Ancestral now. I hit, but I didn't hit green. Okay. 6 coming in. They can't bring back Icarid, and they can't do anything, really, unless they have Wasteland, obviously. I go to 8. So I'm still not okay, but I'm okay. A fetch land is something here. Petal is something. That is something. Okay. And I have backup. So this is good. I still might need to draw a way to cast Claim on my own Sapphire. Because after this next turn... Well, they can't chill, especially now. So now I just need... I think we're okay, but I can't fetch anymore. Well, they can't chill until they have dredgers in their yard. And I have 2 oaths, so I should be able to protection from it. First, I protection from creature, and then I protection from whatever a chill is. Oh, I lost like 40 cards there. Okay. I might not have enough time now. I'm looking for something fun. I guess I should name Bazaar in case they draw Bazaar. Yeah, so... But because they used Force, they're not pitching very soon. So it all depends on how many cards I have left in my deck after my Sarah's Emissary flips again. If I have enough cards left in my deck after my flip here, I win. If I don't, I lose. Oh, it was the top card. All right, so I think we win. We win? we really win this game? Sometimes you complain and you get rewarded. I can't believe we won that. That's ridiculous. There we go, Gary. So in game 1, they dredge for 3, hit. Dredge for 4, hit. Dredge for 5, hit. In game 2, they dredge for 6, missed. I think Emissary should protect you from Creeping Chill. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, they hit on their first one. They hit Golgari Grave Troll and brought back 2 prized amalgams. And, like, I mean, they super hit. They just missed on the second one. I mean, it also targets me. Doesn't Creeping Chill target me? Oh no, it doesn't target me. Creeping Shield does not target me. Creeping Shield does deal damage though. Protection stops damage. I mean, it was going to be one of the two. Okay, let's do it again. All right, now we're on the draw though, and we have no ley lines in our deck. Nope. That hand doesn't do it. This hand might do it, actually. This hand has Wasteland Preordain. I don't really have, like, too many better hands than this. Like, my deck is not super well built to beat Dredge. I think if you didn't have Sapphire, I think this hand's actually bad. But if I think with Sapphire, this hand's a keep. If you didn't have Sapphire, I would snap mulligan this hand. But I think with Sapphire, this hand's actually a keep. They're on 2. They're on 1. They mulled to 0. They mulled to 1 and conceded. We had Oath on top. Okay, all right, okay. You win some, you lose some. That is Dredge. Okay, here we go. Round 3. Opponent has revealed a Luris of the Dream Den. That could be Jeskai, or it could be the Shere Khan Volt Key deck. I think it's likely to be the Shere Khan deck. Our hand is a little awkward, but I think keepable. Might even end up... Oh, no. Probably playing Code Provider's Bant Luris deck, then. We really want to hit the required mana to cast... Well, I can't cast Negation or Mindbreak Trap on my upkeep Ancestral here. That's unfortunate. I was just going to say, we really want to hit the required mana to cast Renin 6. Renin 6 is going to be extremely good in this matchup. Especially with the opponent having things like a Mercurial Spelldancer. Kind of thing. Collector Oof. I think I'm going to hold the Brain Freeze as a negation target. I could Brain Freeze myself here to give myself the ability to like regrowth of a fetch land or something. I'd rather just draw it. I guess I should have floated, but whatever. I don't think the Renin 6 is going to be good enough here, though, which is definitely a problem. I mean, if I get Wastelanded, I'm super doomed, too. Everything looks a little doomed because my opponent has a creature here, and I didn't have the ability to counter this Ancestral. Yeah, there's Strip Mine. That is bad for the home team. I don't really think there's a real reason to Brain Freeze still, but I'm definitely super far behind in this game. I don't really have the right mana to do anything, and I didn't have any Preordains to smooth. I wanted to keep this hand of counter magic because I really wanted to be able to beat like a Moxen Luris deck, but my opponent is on a creature Luris deck. So I basically need to draw fetch land here so I can Renin 6 this Spelldancer. I think anything other than that is going to be rough for us. Let's see what opponent has. Well, they don't have anything, but we also don't have anything. Huh. Man, we would be actually super well off if we had... Well... Oh, right. That doesn't do anything. All right, never mind. We just can't do anything. I think we would be in great shape if we just had the mana to play Renin 6. Like, my opponent kept the hand based on Ancestral Recall, and their hand wasn't actually good. The good news is if they do play a third spell and copy it with Spelldancer, we can trap both copies. Like, I don't actually think my opponent's hand was good against us at all. It was Oof, Spelldancer, Cantrips, Ancestral. Like, that's not that good, but we just did not have usable lands in our hand, so. Not ideal. Ponder... Sylvan Library? I definitely can't let that happen. That will murder me. Alright, it doesn't look like they're copying a spell this turn, which means we're probably not going to be able to turn on Mindbreak Trap either. So, and we're also dying. So basically, we're on fetch land or bust here. We really need to run in 6 the Spell Dancer. We did hit exactly red land. Okay. I mean, if they drew forest, it's bad, but... all right, so this probably buys us 2 life and kills their Spell Dancer. And then we, I don't know, oh, they just get to Ancestral again. Damn. That's so bad for me. They were gonna be able to double Ancestral with the Spell Dancer if we didn't draw the red land, so I guess we'll just be happy. We once again can't Mindbreak Trap our opponent's Ancestral, and we are just getting absolutely buried. This is just so sad. Is this Time Walk or something? Everything is bad. Last one. Yeah, I want the last one.
Eat it.
Take away my food. You worked hard on that food. I guess I'm gonna try to bring back this Ren 6. I don't know. What does it matter? I'm just getting murdered by anything my opponent does in this game. What is that? What kind of pour is that? Oops. Chat, you seeing this? Would this fly? I think she has ulterior motives. I did break the large glass. I did break the very large wine glass. One oath and we're set. Yeah, my opponent plays like Outland Liberators and stuff. They have just so many more cards than us. Is this Preordain gone? I think this Preordain's gone. I don't know. All right. I drew Strip Mine. So I think I'm going to Strip Mine them off Hardcast Force and then play Ren. The most playable Flash deck right now? You can just play Flash inside of Atraxa Show and Tell. It's quite good. Code told me he wouldn't play the 5-color one. Oh, they just hardcast Mindbreak Trap on me. I took them off Force of Will, but they had Mindbreak Trap. Unlucky. Unlucky. I mean, they obviously had something because they didn't put Luris in their hand, but yeah, I was hoping it was Force of Will, not the Mindbreak Trap. Because now they have a Luris coming back. I guess we just need to hit Oath right now. That's a Lotus Petal. Fantastic. I only have 4 artifacts in my deck, and I've drawn 3 of them against my opponent's Collector Oof, which I don't recommend doing. Can't say I recommend doing that. 6, 5. Well, they don't have a black source in this deck, I don't believe. So we're not... Oh, no, we are just dead to this. We're just dead to this. Okay. Even if I draw Oath, I guess I can draw Ancestral into land, Time Walk into Bolt or something. Yeah, I guess I have draws. I won't concede. I actually think if we drew like reasonably in this game, I think we just destroy this. Like this draw was not like this. They double Ancestral in this game, and none of their cards are good. Like this, my opponent's deck is built to beat like the coveted jewel decks and like the combo metagame. But we should just like super overpower their deck. I do actually think we're gonna bring in the other 2 oaths because their deck is fundamentally a creature deck. I'm gonna bring in the Pyroblasts, and then what I'm gonna do is take out these negations, which I don't think are very good. I might just take out the Brain Freeze. I think I'm keeping the Breach, but I don't think I need Breach Brain Freeze. And then, like, the problem with Oath is our deck doesn't have, like, a Gaia's Blessing in it. That is kind of an issue. I mean, these Spell Pierces are not very good either. So maybe I'll keep Brain Freeze just to have the combo and get rid of the Spell Pierces. But I mean, like, the negations and Spell Pierces are just so bad in this matchup, so... Second Deathrite Shaman is a black source. I'm talking about activating Deathrite Shaman. They did not have a way to activate their Deathrite Shaman in that game right there. So yeah, I mean, so there's obviously issues with Oathing, but I think they're better than these cards. So I'll show you our opponent's deck. It's definitely a new one. It's kind of like a Bant Archon deck, except instead of playing Archon, we're playing Luris. So it's Collector Roofs, Deathrite Shaman, Lavinia, Spell Dancer, Outland Liberator, Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares could be pretty annoying for us. Post board, they're going to be able to bring in another Swords to Plowshares, but they don't even have hate for us. They have Containment Priest, which actually that is hate. So maybe I shouldn't be bringing in extra Oaths if they're going to be bringing in Containment Priest. What this deck really needs is like 2 more Lightning Bolts, probably. I think this deck probably should have 2 more Lightning Bolts in the 75. Probably both in the sideboard, but I think 1 Lightning Bolt was a deck building error. I think 1 Lightning Bolt was a really bad deck building decision. Like, I think this is the kind of matchup I would love to be playing most of the time. Kind of a pseudo-fair matchup. We should just go way over the top. This hand's great, because I have an Oath and an answer to Containment Priest. I don't think I'm going to hold up Flusterstorm. I think I'd rather just deploy the Preordain. If they want a Mental Misstep, that's fine. Emerald, Wrenn and 6. Those are both great. I'm not going to play the Emerald, just... Well, they have Lavinia. I should have played the Emerald. I was thinking not to play the Emerald because I don't want them to, like, think the Oof is good, but... I mean, it looks like they're going to play an Oof anyways. Oh, Time Walk. Wow. All right, wish I had Flusterstorm, right? Okay. I mean, if they play the turn 1 Lavinia, I am going to look pretty silly, but... Deathrite Shaman is fine. Sure. Okay, cool. I definitely should have played the Emerald. That was wrong. The Wrenn and 6 obviously is worse when there is a Deathrite Shaman, but I'm just going to play the Oath of Druids. And then that resolves. They might just have a Containment Priest as their next card here. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to bolt now. I'd like to be able to bolt with Flusterstorm back up. I think that's probably important. Maybe the Flusterstorm will never be backed up here, but... that's super unfortunate Wasteland, because now I can't go on my upkeep with Flusterstorm back up. But it's not like I'm under a ton of pressure. Eventually this will work out. So I'm not going to Oath. And then I'm going to play... Does it make sense to plus Wrenn on the tropical island? Doesn't really make sense. I think I'm just going to pass and look for an opportunity. Maybe I shouldn't have kept... When did I keep Wrenn? I kept Wrenn before Deathrite Shaman, right? If I had known they'd have a Deathrite Shaman, I might not have kept Wrenn. But I think Wrenn is like super nice because of Mercurial Spell Dancer. All right, well, I think doesn't get much better than this end of turn because they just have a million mana. So maybe maybe I was supposed to cast it on the first turn when they were tapped out, but it just felt like I was going to be able to get a Flusterstorm opportunity, but it never materialized, you know? I don't know. kind of rough. They had the Wasteland, right? That was the big thing. They just have Mental Misstep. They did pause on my preordain earlier, so... Yeah, I mean, that's why I went for it. They have Hardcast Force up, but now they just Wasteland me. And I don't have any more Lightning Bolts in my deck, so I think this is super doomed. Like I said, I think our deck should probably have 3 Lightning Bolts in it, but... Now we need to draw an Oko. I don't know. I think I have to hold the Ren and 6 so I can kill a Spell Dancer. I don't know. I mean, it's my fault. I should have more Lightning Bolts in my deck. Really. Maybe, I mean, they have Mental Miss at this whole game, so I never actually had an opportunity to bolt them. Yeah, I don't know. I really think this matchup should be extremely good for us, but this has not been our ideal for us. They didn't actually hit on this Brainstorm. But I don't think it matters. All right, we just need to draw Oko exactly this turn. And I don't even think it's better to Wasteland because, like, maybe we can get to 6 mana. I mean, we just don't have enough time to get to 6 mana. It's just super doomed. I could Wasteland them. I just don't think it does anything. Whereas I think putting lands in play for us does do something. Maybe they'll take some time and kill this Ren and 6, which will be good for morale. But they don't really have to. They have double Deathray Shaman. We just didn't have... They drew Ancestral again. Okay. Everything went wrong. I mean, I think I'll take the freaking 4 life here, so... They are gonna kill my Ren and 6. Wow. Interesting. I think that's really good for me, if I had to guess. What's not good for me is this Strip Mine. I guess, like, if we draw Minx and Boo, then... Oh, not if they play Oof Strip Mine. All right, again, we can draw exactly Oko, and it might be enough. This is not good. All right, you got me. My opponent had just much better cards than we did. They resolved 3 Ancestrals and we resolved 0. Pretty rough. Like, I would think that this is actually a pretty good matchup for our deck, but like it was really bad. Unfortunately, my dismal performance at the Magic table has resulted in a bye in the final round of this prelim. So we'll take it, 2-2. I would like to show off this deck some more, so maybe we'll play it on stream some other time. I do think the core idea of this deck is functional. However, I do think it is lacking the power to be a, consistent deck in Vintage. You do have A plus B combo, but you don't have any way to search for the A plus B combo besides like oathing over it and then hitting regrowth or whatever. And I do think that we only had one Kogla in play today. And it wasn't bad when it came into play, but it wasn't enough to come back from the initiative, which I actually think is really not the normal case. So far when I've tested this deck, Kogla has been amazing against the initiative, and it's been more than enough to beat that kind of draw. I think that the idea, like the core idea of a rug control deck that has Oath of Druids for 6 drops, I think is fine. I know some people will tell you otherwise, but I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's a fun way to make your control deck more powerful. And that's kind of what I'm always looking for inside of control decks in Vintage. I want your control deck to have something more. Like just simply playing a deck that has, ancestral and counters and stuff is not enough. He needs to be doing something else, and that's why I thought the idea of playing like this little mini Oath plus castable creatures thing, or playing Brain Freeze Breach. I think that's actually a nice way to make your rug deck a little bit more powerful. Of course, it makes your draws a little bit more disjointed. Of course, that is some of the downside, but I don't know. I still like it. We probably will play some more control decks. I do want to play the Yuta Takahashi Fairy Mastermind deck. That deck, unfortunately, I haven't found a good way to fit a combo into it yet. So that one we might just play it as low power control, but maybe that'll be good enough. Who knows? Definitely keep an eye out for more March of the Machine cards on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will see you then.